If you don't know how to position your unfair advantage, it's probably going to cost you a deal that could have been 7 figures. Founders are terrible at talking to big companies about what makes them unique, different, or compelling. And one way to do that really, really well is learning how to position the unfair advantages, the things that you do that anyone else would struggle to do without a lot of time, money, and resources, to a much bigger company, whether it is a potential distribution partner that could sell your product to their customers or your first enterprise deal. What's really, really important though, is that understanding in the first instance that a large enterprise actually does need your unfair advantage. That's the first hoop to jump through. Once you realize that you're worthy of talking to them, it becomes really easy to apply the tips that I'm going to show you today to make you super compelling in any situation with one of those large companies. Now, why they need an unfair advantage is that they can't innovate. They struggle to do anything bold because they have the threat of share price. And last but not least, they might not always be able to acquire their way out of it. For example, if a company that was a market leader was going through a turnaround and has really low shareholder confidence, there's no way any of that cash on the balance sheet is going to be used to allow to buy a smaller company when confidence is already low. So in that situation, your unfair advantage can be valuable in an enterprise deal or a partnership deal. You've just got to learn how to position it. So when a big company sees it, what they hear is something that's going to make them a shit ton more money, that lowers the risk of doing something bold, that one of their competitors can't copy. And if we land these 3 points every time, they will always see your unfair advantages as unique, timely, and compelling, forcing them to act. So to do that, and how to position each one or each different type of unfair advantage, we're going to take the 7 unfair advantages that we have as counterparts, and we're going to take the first 6, because the last one being distribution isn't really valuable for this. But you could apply the same. Here's how you make more money, lower your risk that someone can't copy when it comes to distribution too. But if you're a smaller company, your distribution is going to be low. So we're just going to strike that one off and focus on the top 6. And the top 6 unfair advantages we recommend at counterparts are the lofty vision, visionary features, breakthrough research, first mover advantage, learner flywheel, and data creation. So I'm going to talk you through each one and then how to position it to a bigger company. Firstly, on the lofty vision. If your company has a vision for how you want the market to change, that is a market transformation, and it's a more lofty vision than a product vision. So if you want to position a lofty vision to a big company, you have to talk about category building. So you can say to a big company, here's our lofty vision, solve underemployment, and if you make a move in this space, you'll become a new category leader in talent mobility. That is one I used to use at my old company. In the next 3 to 5 years, all of your customers are going to want talent mobility because the market is changing in this way. So why not be first and become a category creator, or first in the category, by joining us with that lofty vision? So that's lofty vision. Number 2 is visionary features. These are things that make this category creation absolutely obvious. So what you can say using to a customer, because of the way we're positioning the market, nobody has thought this way. So we've created these 3 features that no one's ever heard of that actually show you that the category is going to be over here versus over there. At my old company, we used to say we have a horizontal IQ test that takes IQ testing from a cumulative score to a aptitude strength matched to particular skill. So when we move from experience-based hiring to the new category of skills-based hiring and skills-based talent mobility, this visionary feature is an obvious transition that's going to make it super easy for your salespeople to sell. The third unfair advantage is breakthrough research. This is really simple. We did this research, we had this breakthrough, and we uncovered this point of view or proprietary insight that your competitors are never going to get. So we understand now that aptitude testing has been missing abstract reasoning. we're the only company that looks at tech skills from a point of abstract reasoning and value. You're now going to be the only company that has access to that when you distribute it. So this is a proprietary insight or point of view that your competitors can't copy because we're offering it uniquely to you. First mover advantage. Really, really simple. We're a first mover in this space. What that means for you, it's entirely white space, and you can decide to help create a category and put yourself in a completely different position than any of your competitors. You're entering white space, no one's there, you can define how it works. Really clear, really simple, really easy to do. Learn a flywheel. A flywheel happens when your customer learns a skill as a part of getting the dream outcome of purchasing your product. So I came here to get a tech job, but as a part of it, I now know that I apply abstract reasoning. When that customer has that aha learning moment, they actually refer someone before they get the dream outcome, which speeds up acquisition. So what we say to customers is we have a natural flywheel that's built into our acquisition model. And what that means is everyone turns up half sold because of this skill that they've learned. Game changing. Allows customers to go, oh, great. So the CAC is going to go lower. And I can see why that learning that skill actually allows me to be a bigger category definer and gives me a unique unfair advantage because the customer is believing in our transformation and already applying it themselves before they actually get the outcome from the purchase. It is a huge point to just say they turn up half sold if you use our product. Last but not least, data creation. Anything that has the interaction with users that gives more valuable data to make decisions either strategically or in pursuit of creating a category is super compelling to a big company. So you can say, hey, when you use our aptitude test, we have a way of tracking anytime what someone could be matched to. That continuous matching makes it really hard for our customers to switch or our users to leave. Really hard to switch, really sticky, really helps you, allow you to be a category king. Significantly lowers the risk of doing something bold, drastically increases the LTV by making more money, and if we work with you to create the data, none of your competitors can copy it if we only sell it to you, or only partner with you, or only if you buy this particular offer we have for very few customers. So, as you can see here, the biggest value that we see with founders when they talk to a big business, whether it's a distribution partner or a direct enterprise deal, it can cost them 7 figures if they don't know how to position their unfair advantage, the thing that makes them completely different, compelling, and unique. And the reason is, although these things take a lot of time to build, no one really wants to hear the story about them. All they really want to see the story of, is this something that makes me a lot more money? Maybe 5 to 10x? Is it really risky, or is there no risk in doing it? And is it something that my competitors can't copy? And if you say that this is a way you could create a category with this obvious features that give you this unique point of view or proprietary insight that no one has, so you can define the white space where customers are already half sold, and by the time they get there, make it harder to switch. It is extremely easy to position your uniqueness to a much bigger company, come across sophisticated, and be a low risk bet, drastically increasing the size of the deal on first pass. If you found this useful, come to Counterparts. We'll show you how to do more of it. These are our tips on how to position 6 unfair advantages to big businesses or distribution partners. Good luck, be fierce.